Just a quick one. I've got my son in the room with me here, so hence the video is not on, and please excuse any noise. I did do a brief tutorial on this, sort of with my camera, just hovering over the iPad, but wondered if this might be a bit better. So I've got my ASI booted up now, albeit not connected to my mount. It's not clear enough, and anyway wanted to get some pictures off of it, so I thought now might be a good opportunity to go as far as I can. As such, the main thing you need to be aware of is you've got here the options to select whichever connection. EQ mount can be used if you're just going to be using EQ mount, nothing else, but EQ mod with Sky Safari is what you want if you're going to be connecting that way. For first time users, I will say make sure you get the focal length of your main guide scope spot on. I'm using an ED80 and in line with that, um, it also has a focal reducer. So that means it brings its focal length down to 521 millimeters. That's the one for the guide, which I kind of guesstimated. It's a Skywatcher 10 by 50, I believe is the dimensions of the finder with the camera in. I don't often use it, but I did a quick measurement the old-fashioned way, really, just by shining a torch through it, seeing where it focused, and just measured on the lens all the way up to where it focused. I got 18 millimeters. I mean, so far so good, it works. Camera, that's why I put in my DSLR, but it's not in there now. And obviously, my guide camera isn't in there now. But essentially, it is the EQ mod that you'd want to include in. So if we go for enter on that, and then a few other things you're going to need here as well if you're connecting. So you want to come up to your Wi-Fi. I'm assuming you've already connected this up as well, but if not, then this is how you do that. So if you need to come into Wi-Fi settings down here, and then you come down to station mode down here. That's the name of the link that I'm using. That's the name of the router. And then I click on the eye, and there's the IP address. So that's what I'm using here. So you need to make sure you get that into your Sky Safari when you set it up. So I'm going to pause this for a minute, then we'll come back to Sky Safari and look at what we do there. So continuing on, this is Sky Safari. And for those that are wondering, I'm recording this from Windows 11. This is BlueStacks. And BlueStacks, you can download that. It's an Android platform. It's from here that you can control the ASI. So once you're in, this is the Sky Safari Pro 6 Pro. Yes, this is what I'm using here. So you want to come into settings from here and then set up types. So two things to note here. If you're using the Skywatcher in EQ6 or similar, you want to select the Meade LX200 Classic. That's what you want to select there. And then we'll go back in. And then if you mount type, it's the Equatorial Go-To. That's what you want there. And then these are the figures I was telling you about. Obviously, I've already done mine. The port number seems to be some argument over what should go in there. I've done a lot of Googling. I've seen 4340. I've seen all sorts. I think that's the number that came from trying to set up the Raspberry Pi. I'm sure I'd seen that number there, but nevertheless, that's the number that seems to be working here. And then once you've got those figures plumbed in, all you've literally got to do is click on connect. I'm not going to do it there because it's going to come up with a very rude buzz because it won't connect, because obviously my NEQ6 isn't online at the moment. But you give it, say, 30 seconds or so, and then hopefully you'll get a ping, and then this will readjust to the part of the night sky where your telescope is. So the idea is you essentially select something, and you come down. I've got the drop down here, or you just click and go to, and it will go to that object there. And then I'm informed that if you're using ASI Pro, the app, then what you need to do there is you can go to preview and take a preview shot for using plate solve. And then once you've plate solved it from there, you can then go to the auto run and set up a schedule there. and that way it will run the schedule without you having to go through live searching the object, going to the objects all over again, and plate solving. So this way you can use the Sky Safari to navigate there, and you use ASI Air to take a quick shot, plate solve it, and yeah, you know, you can then use your auto run facility to run your images after. It seems to work okay. I did it last night, and it was saving them as FITS files. The native for my camera is RAW, but I can work with FITS. Better that than JPEG, as you'll get if you run in preview mode. So that seems to be pretty much how that works. I much prefer using Sky Safari, and it's one of the reasons I was erring in favour of the Raspberry Pi. But Raspberry Pi just wouldn't play ball with this, with the best one in the world. But it seems as though ASI, after lots of faffing around, has finally accepted it. I will say, I did not connect first time round. I had to reset the sets and close things off and back on again before it would finally go in. So the key name of the game here is Persevere. But at least this way, if that works for you, then touch wood, you know, you should have a nice fun time stargazing or imaging or whatever. But this looks far better though, because at least this updates in real time, downloads images, solid data files, and then at least that way from there you can, if there's any new objects in the night sky like comets and such, then you can easily navigate to them here, which you can't do directly from a predefined menu as offered in ASI. So that's the way around it. Despite my previous misgivings, I am rapidly coming to, more in favour of the ASI as opposed to the Pro, the Raspberry Pi. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you informed. I've done this as a kind of an impromptu tutorial because I understand some people are a bit stuck with getting this rigged up. So I hope this works for you, and clear skies. Cheers.